Fantasy Philosophers is brought to you by fantasy-info.com.
Let's take a look at our tight end specific sheet that we have here. We've broken down the tight ends that were drafted. We even have a few that weren't selected for our latest Standard Snake mock draft, 12-team, 14-round draft that we were going through here. We obviously, again, as you'll see in quite a few drafts, the difference between a standard and PPR, you see a little bit of a tailback, not too much, but a little bit of a tailback in some of your tight ends and where they're going round-wise. I believe Dallas Clark was win the third round in the PPR 12 team that we did. He actually went in the fourth here. He was really the highest valued tight end that we had in any mock that we were doing in different types of leagues. He would go in an auction. He was the highest valued for price-wise. And so that's something to keep in mind there. We did see 3 tight ends go in the 5th round: Antonio Gates, Jermichael Finley, Vernon Davis. Those are all pretty decent values. I think Jermichael may be a little bit high there, but still he could have a fabulous season this year. So there are people that are very high on him and think that he can really have a big year in that particular offense that they're in. I will say one thing. They don't have Greg Jennings can be a big touchdown maker, but he tends to get a lot of his touchdowns from a distance. So when they get inside the 20-yard line in the red zone, I think Finley could be the key option that Aaron Rodgers continues to look to over the years. So that's definitely something that's good to see for his particular value. One player, I mentioned this in our PPR, a guy like Heath Miller, he is not being selected. I didn't see him getting taken in both of those drafts. And I think it's just because the Steelers, obviously their situation right now, people are starting to kind of avoid that particular situation as far as options. But, I mean, hey, Heath Miller, he still has value. He should be selected over some of the other names here. I mean, he should be over Mercedes Lewis. I'm sorry. Mercedes, it was a guy who was taken in this mock. That shouldn't happen. So if Heath, but still you could get him at a really cheap value. John Carlson is another name that's really still dropped down. Dustin Keller. Those are all guys for good value and good to keep in mind if you're planning on taking a tight end towards the very end of your draft. And once again, we just want to let you know that if you're listening to this out there on the internet, maybe on YouTube for a video, we've got this, what we're talking about here, available for you. There's a link. It should be a link at the bottom of where this video is at, right underneath the text. And you can click on that link. You can go over and you can download this information that we're talking about. You can print it out for yourself to use at your draft. We have that available for you. And if you're also listening to this on a podcast, maybe like Podbean, Mepedia, any one of those, Blueberry, any of those type of places, that should also be incorporated. There should be an article with this as well, and there should be some type of link there for you to get back to the specific page that we're talking about for this cheat sheet or mock draft that we happen to be talking to you about right now. Good luck this season, and we hope that this information helps you have success.
For more fantasy football information, go to fantasy-info.com and sign up for our free e-newsletter. Good luck in your 2010 Fantasy Football League. As an added bonus, the Fantasy Info guys will include their 5 secret tips for success in fantasy football with your free